There he is. I thought you were
What up,
gonna be.
y'all?
I thought you were gonna be in a worse mood today.
Listen, God is good all the time. Oh Lord, he done pulled up on me. Look at him. Look at Rock. He done pulled up. He knew it. Yo, he just got me on Twitter, bro. He's smiling at me all over the internet. I'm gonna just get it out of the way now, okay? I'm an Eagles fan, and I'm an Ohio State fan, and I'm a North Carolina basketball fan. And Raheem Taft is a UConn fan, a 49ers fan, and a Michigan fan. And I'm gonna just go ahead and give you your props. It's been some down years for y'all, but y'all have had us now, okay? It's been some down years for Michigan. We just beat y'all behind in the NFC Championship, but y'all got your wins. I'm gonna respect my opponent. Congratulations. I'm gonna see you in the NFC Championship again, and we're gonna leave it at that. And then North Carolina, we getting back to the national championship. I hope we see you kind of again too.
I mean, the fact that you're acting like you're not gonna play the Cowboys is kind of
Y'all are
wild.
irrelevant, bro. It's December, man. All that stuff that
That's
happened before don't even
nuts.
matter, bro. It's
All
like,
right,
yo, you know how they said Green Bay hasn't lost since Matt LaFleur got in December since Matt LaFleur got there?
yeah,
It's the opposite for Dallas. Y'all don't win in December. It's the opposite. Y'all do not. You
yo,
guys are not a December football team.
this
That's
is
not my
crazy,
fault.
man.
That's not my fault.
We had no QB. I mean, that's a fact, man. They were a torn
Why didn't
uh
you have a QB? Because the pass
playoffs.
rush was ferocious.
Bro, they couldn't. They didn't have a backup quarterback. They could not attempt a forward pass.
Exactly.
Beat y'all. They would have beat y'all.
Listen, all the injuries are part of the game, bro. I don't care. And honestly, that's on John Lynch if they don't got a backup quarterback or a third string quarterback or how many quarterbacks. Okay? He knew them boys was fragile. And look, they got a quarterback back, and now they got us. It's 1-1. We see y'all again. Respect the opponent. That's it. And we're not talking about this no more.
All right, man. All right,
We're not
we'll
talking
move
about it no
on.
more. I got to worry about y'all clowns on Sunday night.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't
What you
wait.
want, Bo? What you want with them? What about them boys? Huh? What about them?
Yo, speaking of that game, I know
Oh, why is all Cowboys fans here?
we're we're
What?
we're about to get
Go
into
do
it, but
something.
we gotta do something for the game, man.
Yo, look, I don't know if I want to be around y'all. Honestly, I love you guys, but I don't
That's
know if I
fair.
want to be around you.
That's fair.
I got, yo, we got 10 wins with me watching the games while I've been watching the games. We got 2 losses. So maybe I
Fair
do
enough.
switch it up. I don't know. We lost last week. I was here. You know what I mean? Maybe I switch it up and go watch it and like get in y'all ear. And maybe that like moves to Dak and he throws a pick here. It's
All right,
December.
man.
It's December.
It is December. I mean, we really do got to get into it, but I mean, the Cowboys got a gauntlet the next few weeks. We got some work to do. So it starts on Sunday night. We'll see what your boys are
Yeah.
feeling like after
You
getting
guys are the end of
demolished.
our gauntlet. You guys, we're coming to the end of our gauntlet.
Yeah.
You guys are just getting yours started. So I
Yeah.
feel confident that if we can get through this week and then head up to Seattle next week, when we got Giants, Cardinals, Giants, I feel confident that we can take care of business and
Feel
get
you.
things done after that. So we just gotta get through you guys.
All right. Well, we got some people in here. We're gonna jump into it. For those who don't know, this is Heat Check powered by Designated Report. I am John L. This is my guy, Cash Walk-in, Matt Price. My boy, how are you feeling after last night? We both had the Knicks beating the Bucks. It didn't turn out that way. How are you feeling about the squad?
Well, to score 122 points and still lose by 24 is, in a word, disheartening.
Yeah?
In another word, alarming. Um, that's not good. Tibbs is a defensive coach, so I don't understand how that could even happen. But I did watch the game, and then I watched some clips back. It's just they're overhelping against a team that can shoot. They're daring a team to shoot threes that can shoot threes, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah,
23 threes to the Knicks 7. That tells the story of the game. Rebounding, they were even. Assists, they were even. Even field goal percentages, they were about. I mean, the Bucks shot unbelievably well. from the
Yeah,
field and from three. But 23 threes, man, to 7, you're not going to beat anybody. It could have been Detroit out there, and they would have lost that game.
absolutely. I mean,
23 threes.
95% of the time when your big three of RJ Barrett, Brunson, and
All
why am I
had
blanking
20.
on his name? They they
Julius
went
Randle.
for Julius Randle. They went for almost 90.
Yeah,
And 95% of the time, that's going to be enough for you guys to
that's a
win.
win.
You can't give up 35 points a quarter. Like, it
Awful
just
game.
can't happen.
Remember everything we talked about last week and how I needed Mitchell Robinson to play.
Yes.
He did the exact opposite. This was his worst game of the season. He was abused by Giannis, confused by Brook Lopez out there in the perimeter. Just one pump fake, the dude's jumping into the fourth row. It was so bad. He had Brook Lopez looking like he looking like I never seen him. Brook
Yeah.
Lopez looked like a new player. He's pump faking, driving, scoop layups. Like, what's going on out here? Like, Mitch had him looking like an All-NBA player. It was a horrible game. They're gonna see him twice more this month, so they got to figure out what they're gonna do. Again, the first half game was played very even. Everything was, they just can't figure out a way to stop these guys, and they're gonna have to because they got to see him twice more this month and another time in April. So,
And that ultimately that's what it is. I mean, the Knicks are going to be fine. They're going, like, it's not like they're going to miss the playoffs or anything like that.
right.
But if they truly want to compete, it's games like this that you have to, maybe you don't win, but you're not getting, run through the way that they did last night.
Exactly, and I sound indifferent because everybody's screaming, the Knicks need a superstar. The Knicks need a superstar. The Knicks need a super. Where is he? Where are we going to get him from? If you're getting a superstar right now in a trade, he's coming from a bad team. He's on that team right now. So he's a player who cannot lift a bad team. I am not about to give away all the good things I have to get a player who can't lift a bad team. And then my team's a bad team now. It makes no sense. This roster got to figure it out. They're young. They've been playing together. I want to see how this plays out. Period.
Yeah.
I do not want to trade. You call RJ Barrett what you want. I don't want to trade him. I'd rather see what he turns out to be, and I'd rather see what Quentin Grimes turns out to be. I'd rather see if Immanuel Quickley can elevate his game in these games like that. He was gone last night. I don't know where he was. 7 points in the first half, 0 in the second half. These are the things. This is a young team still. They got to still grow. They're not a competitor right now, but they can compete. So, yes, there is a move that they need to make. Absolutely. But you do not make it by blowing up your roster. I've been on this, John. We talked about it last year. Yep. They're the same team for 3 years now, with an addition of Dante DiVincenzo and a subtraction of Obi Toppin. That's basically it. They're the same roster. The only way this team gets there is that this team got to play better. Everybody on this team got to get better. They're signed with everybody. Everybody's under contract. This team is married, and everybody is delusional. They need to get over it. This is the roster. They need to play better. That's all I want.
So let me ask you this, playing devil's advocate. It's the same team more or less for the same 3 years, and you've gotten to the same point just about every year.
Every year.
So are you truly standing packed and like, yes, I'm going to wait this out, or we need to wait this out and see what happens? Or is it like, hey, we've done it 3 times. We've done it twice. We're on the third iteration of the same thing, and we're not getting better.
Exactly.
Maybe you do need to make a change.
It's frustrating. It's confusing, but it's like, do you think Philadelphia is really about to trade Joel Embiid? Even if this whole season goes to crap, they're going to trade him within their division, within their conference, to a team they have to see 4 times a year. You think they're going to do that no matter what
Absolutely
they get
not.
back? They're not going to want to do that. So that's not there. We thought we were going to have a run at Giannis. The reality is they had their chance at Donovan Mitchell. He was the one. And hopefully he doesn't extend in Cleveland and he comes in free agency. And that is the track that I'm looking at. I'm on that track. I'm not on blow this whole thing up to get one guy. The only other track I'm on is to get a player like DeMar DeRozan on a rental.
Yep.
He's in the last year of his deal. I know he's not no defensive stopper, but he's a professional scorer. He's a real small forward who's played small forward his whole career that moves RJ to 2. You could probably get him for Grimes, Fournier, and and one draft pick. It's cheap. Go out and get that. He's a guy who's played in the playoffs. He's played against LeBron. He's led a team. You don't even need him to do that anymore, but you just
True.
need him to come and be a pro scorer. So that when things are bogged up like that, you got a guy who knows how to put the ball in the basket. That is what I'll take. And then maybe if you at the end of the year you want to put him on the same timeline with Randall and Brunson, give him a 2-year, 3-year deal. Because I think DeMar DeRozan got 2, 3 more years left
I
of good
absolutely agree with
basketball in
that.
him. He's a
Yeah.
hooper. So him coming in as like a third option, that is what I like. But I'm not gonna give up everything for that. When he showed that his game's not at the level to lift Chicago to a playoff berth.
Very true.
Like, come on, man. Like the value of the player, it has to meet the value of the trade. You can't just be giving up everything. I hate seeing these trade machine trades that are like Julius Randle, R.J. Barrett, 4 first-round picks for Karl Anthony Towns. Like, bro, jump off a bridge.
Don't actually
Find the
jump off
Brooklyn
a
Bridge
bridge,
and jump
but
off.
yeah.
Give me a break. I'm sorry.
Nah, I hear you. I hear you.
Well, yeah, let's talk about all the other in-season tournament. The Knicks
Yeah.
got me tight. Let's get on the other stuff.
We definitely do have to get into the other games, and I want
See, James
to.
trying to give us Levine. My bad. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, he's a disgruntled Bulls fan. I understand that as well. So,
Yeah, in
um,
there.
so the in-season tournament, we've been on the same page. We've loved it, and I think one of the like shining moments was it came in a loss last
Oh,
night,
yeah.
where Kevin Durant after the game was like, "I didn't like it coming in," but he's like, "The fans are family." Like there was an excitement around the game. He said it truly felt like a playoff game, and I think that's one of the most telling things is like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think there was just a lot of confusion about what it was and what it was going to be. But we mentioned it last week that the teams that made it into the knockout round, they actually elevated their play in these
Absolutely.
games. So like
Absolutely.
there's an incentive, whether it's the money, whether it's just them being competitive, whether
Mm-hmm.
it's them being like, hey, this is the first one, and we want to be able to
I want
say
to be the first champion.
we won the first championship and hoist that
Yep.
trophy. I think it goes a long way towards kind of tinkering and making this thing better moving forward. So first thing first, we're through the quarterfinals now. What is your initial thoughts on the quarterfinals, the games, and what it's going to look like moving forward into the championship this weekend?
So you could clearly see the energy is different in the building with the fans, and you could clearly see that for an early December basketball game,
Yeah.
we are just over 20 games into the season, so we're a quarter of the way through the year.
Yep.
This is usually a dog day in the NBA. They're trying to get to Christmas. That's the next big day. They're playing prime time. Guys aren't going hard like this. You could see the defensive intensity was up. You could see, even though the Knicks and the Bucks, like the shots were falling, but guys they were playing defense. Like I said,
Absolutely.
I looked at a lot of the tape back. You could see like Brunson, he's getting shots, getting it drained in his face by Dame Lillard, but he was trying. He was closing out hard. Like the efforts were there, where guys will usually jog and just give you that weak closeout. They're closing out hard, falling into the crowd. Guys are double teaming. There's traps last night in Lakers Suns. Vogel, he calls the trap. Alex,
Yes.
what's his name? Austin Reeves dribbles right into it.
Bro,
I
yeah.
don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Somehow, look, God, James, he said, "Nah, that's a timeout." And the rest said, "Timeout."
Bro, that we'll get
Yo,
into
who
that,
even
but
called timeout?
nobody.
Nobody called timeout. Like, it was the craziest thing. Like, what even happened? So there was that. Like, Adam Silver, man, he got to really pat himself on the back. And that's what I wanted to say while you were giving the intro. Like, they promoted this thing. The NBA promoted this thing
Absolutely.
so hard. They did so many different ads, so many different promos. They're getting the musicians and everybody involved. So it's like, you know, even if you only watch a couple NBA basketball games, like you see LL Cool J and, you know, all these other rappers is on TV. They're doing a promo for NBA. Like, oh, what's this for? You know, it's something special. So they did a good job of promoting it and making it seem big. That was the thing with the NBA. And then the games have been great. I know we're gonna get into it, but the Indiana Pacers, man, like crazy. Crazy.
Yeah.
The Boston Celtics they have the second best record in the league, and the Pacers, they protected home court, man. Boston they hit them with their best shot. They gave them everything they had,
Yep.
and albeit without Porzingis, that was you could tell that was a missing piece for them. But because Indiana had a lot of second chance points, Miles Turner doing real big on the boards, tipping the ball out, creating those second chance shots, and then I wasn't aware how many shooters they had, yo. Like
Oh,
Buddy Hield,
absolutely.
Buddy
Yes.
means shit. Like I knew about him, but Ben Mathurin is a real nice young player, a
Yes.
good, nice wing player. I love the wings. And who else? Aaron Naismith. He was another one that's like a good pickup. Like these guys, man, they got some good players on that team, and Halliburton he's doing it all for them, man.
Yeah.
There's a couple shots. There was a three he hit. Remember I talked about how ugly his jumper is, bro. He lost control of the ball. He didn't even jump. He just had like this, and it went in.
Knocked it
And
down.
you just gotta be like at that point. But that's
Yeah.
really what's jumped out to me. Like the play on the court, it shows on the court. For a December basketball game, these guys are playing much harder than they normally would be. And you can tell it's on the line.
Yeah, and to kind of wrap that up, Adam Silver was on with McAfee earlier today, and he was like, "I've gotten a lot of questions about, like, how will you measure success? Like, how after this is done, like, what does success look like?" And basically, he was like, "Yeah, you can look at the attendance, you can look at ratings and things like that, but he was like, ultimately, it boils down to the players. Do the players buy in? Do they
Yeah.
care? Do
Yeah.
they, and he was like, the fact that we didn't see the load management, the fact that guys were actually going out and playing on Tuesdays and Fridays, and then you get Kevin Durant, who's like, damn, like, I'm pissed we're not going to Vegas to try and win this thing.
Yeah.
Like, that's how he's measuring success. And he's like, there's definitely things that they're going to have to tinker with. Like, it's the first time.
Absolutely.
I know he mentioned something about the courts being like pretty uniform, but
Yeah.
the court design came up very late in the process. So he's like,
Yeah.
moving forward, we're gonna give the teams the parameters and
Yeah.
go wild. Like,
Yeah. Do
whatever you
want.
want to do. Like,
just keep this outline and then color it however you want. Like fill in your
yeah.
blanks.
So
That's dope.
I truly love what this is and what it's becoming. Silver definitely did say it. He was like, don't crown, like, we need to wait and see what happens in the finals first. But I think this is a really good launching point for
Absolutely.
stuff moving forward,
Absolutely.
So let's get into the games. And I want to start with a game that you mentioned, the last game of the quarterfinals, the Lakers Sun.
Man.
It was a great game. And I truly hope
Dramatic.
I know Sean, I think I saw that Sean fell asleep. He didn't see the end of the game, but I truly hope people stayed up and watched the game because and just like dramatic game, the way that it ended, but also just like to immerse yourself in Kevin Durant and LeBron James, to be able to watch them play at like a high level in a playoff atmosphere, I think was so dope. KD ended up with 39 and 11, LeBron 31, 11 and 8. And it felt for a while in that second half in the fourth quarter, they were just going shot for shot. And unfortunately, it's kind of marred by that late timeout that was or wasn't with Austin Reeves and
who knows,
whatever. But ultimately, a great game. I know you watched it. What were like your biggest takeaways from that game? The Lakers move on. If I didn't mention that already, they'll be playing the Pelicans. But what do you take from that game? What do you see moving forward? Can they beat the Pelicans to move on to the finals?
What I take from that game is that exactly the Lakers, if this is the Anthony Davis that they're getting, that's who he has to be nightly. And even still, there's more on the table for him to get. But 27 and 15, he shot. He was 10 of 26 from the field. Like, I mean, he was just a dominant force in the middle last night. And I remember I brought this up. I said interior is where I was worried about Phoenix because they don't have any big
Yeah.
that really scares you, and they don't have any depth on that team. You could tell it was real top heavy last night. Like you said, Durant in the 30s, and then Book had a rough night shooting, but 21, and Grayson Allen chipped in 21 as well. But
Yep.
Nurkic had 3 points. Eric Gordon had 7. So I remember I was saying last week as well. This is a team that's built. They need all three of those guys to go. They have not
Absolutely.
played together all year. Bradley Beal's only played 2 games,
Yep.
so it's still early in the season. But yeah, in games like this, there you could tell it kind of broadcasts their future in a little bit, like that if they get to the playoffs and all three of them aren't there, they can compete with you. But this is a team that's built. They need all three of those guys. They need
Yeah,
them all.
I agree. I agree. Um, I agree. I had picked Phoenix. I think they were 6-1 in their last seven or something like that. I just
Yeah,
figured they would ride momentum and be able to beat the Lakers. And I mean, they could have. It's not like the Lakers blew them out or anything like that. Um, I mean, again, is notoriously cheap. We know that. It truly feels like he wants that $500,000.
oh yeah.
And to me, it almost seems like Bronny's tuition is like 66 grand a year.
Yo, do you
So
think he's thinking like that?
he might he
Yo,
might be
that is
he might be
crazy,
trying
bro.
to take care of their tuition. Bryson
Is he
Bronny,
scholarship? I don't know. Is he a scholarship or did he just choose to go to USC? That would be
hell,
crazy, yo. You got me thinking like that. Like, yo, I can just give Bronny a little something in his pocket.
man, he might. But my
uh,
biggest takeaway is I'm not a Lakers fan. I am a LeBron fan, but I could not imagine rooting for that team night in and night out.
no way.
You see how good they can be, and
That's the
they
frustration.
they have all the talent in the world, but it's effort, it's intensity, it's all those like intangible things. It's like, why can't you guys do this? Maybe not every night, like you're on the second night of a back to
Yeah,
back or something like that. But why can't you give that to me 60 games a year? Like, why is it 50 games? Like, I couldn't,
exactly.
I wouldn't be able to do it. I wouldn't be able to do it.
It's frustrating. It's frustrating to watch them play, but the most frustrating thing it's got to be is, LeBron leading the whole game in minutes.
Yes. Yeah.
40 minutes last night, and this game should have went to overtime. So he's like he was about to have to play more. It's you gotta get that down. His usage is still very high. I
It
just feel
it
like
can't
okay,
be
we're
this
not.
high this early.
Yeah, you're not gonna load manage him, fine, but because you can't because the league is trying to cut that stuff out. But Darvin Ham got to at least start thinking about running those minutes down to like max 32. I don't care where we are in the game. Just make sure he's there to close, I guess. But you got to start getting him down to 32 minutes or like around there. Like, and let Rui and these guys pull their minutes up to like 25, 28 minutes a game. Because you got to figure out a way to make this work. He's already proven the last few years that he is human to a degree. He's gotten injuries,
Yep.
and you just don't want to mess with that because he's obviously very heavily dependent on him playing at a high level, and you
Yeah.
need him at 100% to do that.
I agree. And that's really my concern with this Lakers team is I do understand that they're trying to figure themselves out to a certain degree, but it's also largely the same team as last year, the team that was the best team
Yeah,
second half of the season after the All-Star break, record wise. So like to me, it's like you shouldn't need to be feeling and figuring yourself out this early in the season to where LeBron's playing 40 minutes in
yeah,
December, at the beginning of December,
yeah,
multiple nights, and so
yeah. It's
um
not just this one game. Like he's been up there in the minutes for the last 5, 6 games.
yeah. So the Lakers won, they moved on. What did you think about that call at the end of the game with Austin Reeves?
I mean, look, the timeout you're talking about, right?
The timeout, yeah.
It's just you don't see anybody calling timeout. Maybe him was yelling it to the ref, or maybe they had some discussion. LeBron was really demonstrative in his telling the ref
He really
like he
was,
was
yeah.
saying like somebody called timeout. Like he said timeout. Like he was trying to tell him that like look, he pointed like to the sideline and then talked to the ref. Like he said it like somebody told him that they were gonna call timeout. But
Yeah.
I'm like in the moment though, like how did you say you're like you just knew you were gonna get trapped, or did you say if we get trapped, I want to call a timeout? Like what was the process? I don't know. It was funny. It was just it messed up the opportunity to see a game go to overtime because
I
there was great
yeah.
shot making as you mentioned before, and yeah, like I was up late, but I was rocking with it. Like that was a great game, and I needed some good basketball after I had just seen my team get slaughtered by 24, even though they scored 122 points. I
Yeah.
needed it.
Yeah. 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 No, it, I think across all sports, it's the same complaint where you
Yeah,
don't want the refs or the umpire
exactly,
or whatever to determine the outcome of the game. And of course,
exactly.
like a lot of time, I mean, Devin Booker didn't take this route, but a lot of times players go the PC route where they're like, oh, like it shouldn't have come down to one play and this, that, and the third, which is fine. But at the same time, like if it's a call, make it. If it's not, don't. And the moment shouldn't determine, what a ref does or doesn't do.
Yeah,
To me, it I don't know. I don't think timeout was called, quite frankly. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to have
I don't think
possession.
so.
You have to
I,
like I
I
don't know.
think LeBron told them somebody called timeout and they just took his word for it.
Very well could
Like
have been
I
it,
think the ref
honestly.
thought he messed up because the way he reacted was like he was calling timeout and the ref was like, did you see timeout? Did you said and they're like doing the Spider-Man meme, all pointing at each other.
Yeah.
And then he was like, all right, I guess timeout. Because how could you tell them they did it? It's loud in there. It's crazy. It's a chaotic situation. Austin Reeves falling to the ground. It's a trap play. So you're trying to like, where's the foul coming? Like, is there a foul? He's thinking a whole bunch of things. I get that the refs' jobs are hard, but listen, you gotta just
Yeah.
let them play it out on the court. You know that was a trap play. That's exactly what they want right there in that moment, and you took the opportunity for them to get the ball
I
back
agree.
and possibly tie. Right
I
there,
agree.
that's what it was. It was a turnover, and the refs got to let that play out.
I agree. I agree. The Lakers are going to move on to play the New Orleans Pelicans, who defeated the Sacramento Kings on Monday night.
Ah,
Um, you've been high on the Kings for the last couple of years. I picked the Pelicans to win that game, like honestly, off the strength of Zion playing well, and really that team playing well, particularly since CJ McCollum got back into the rotation. Um, the Kings, to me, dynamic team. They're explosive offensively. If this is a 7-game series, I'm taking the Kings. But
yeah,
in a one off win or go home type of thing, I rolled the
yeah.
dice. I went with the Pelicans. They were able to take the game and move on.
10
Um,
point win. 10
10-point
point
win.
win. It
And
was a very
for
good game.
what it's worth, the Kings started out strong. The
Yeah,
first quarter, I want to say it was like 13-2 or something like that. They went on a big run to start the game. And pretty much from the second quarter on, the Pelicans were in control. It didn't feel like at
yeah,
any point the Kings were in striking distance or they would be able to make a run to get back into the game.
yeah.
Um, did you watch the game?
I did watch that game. I've watched
So,
every in-season tournament game so far.
okay. So
Big fan.
What did you see in that game? To me, like I said, the Kings started out strong. They were playing at home in front of that
Yep.
crowd, raucous the whole nine. And that big three, Bi, CJ, and Zion, they were able to kind of weather that storm. And from there, they just kind of took off. Is that what you saw as well?
Not even Zion. I saw an early aggressive Zion. But then I saw a very aggressive later coming CJ McCollum, who was constantly on the move, hit some real big shots and rhythm. I saw an extremely aggressive Brandon Ingram getting his shot all over the court. But man, he is a superstar now. I don't care what anybody says. He is on
I
superstar
like
level
his
to me,
game a lot.
Brandon Ingram.
Yeah, yeah.
His game is crazy. He can score a basketball on all three levels from anywhere. And when he's in rhythm, he is really, really a special player. He's facilitating a lot better now. He's not just jacking shots like he was when he was much younger. Now
Yep.
he's facilitating. He's getting to work on the boards too. He had 38 rebounds and 6 assists. Zion only had 10 points. He had 6 rebounds and 6 assists as well. But Herb Jones, he had 23. These guys, their complementary players have really stepped up this season. Herb Jones, they got Jose Alvarado back, and Trey
Yep.
Murphy the third. This dude, man, he shoots the three so well. He hit 3 threes. Herb Jones hit 3 threes. CJ McCollum hit 3 threes. Brandon Ingram hit 3 threes. Like, I mean, these guys, they shot the lights out that night, and they looked like a team that just wasn't scared, even though they were on the road, hostile environment. You know, it gets real loud in Sacramento, and these guys just came in there and handled their business, man. That's really all that happened. They went in there and handled their business. They got everything they wanted in that game, from everything that I saw.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm with you on everything on that. Yeah, again, I love to see that they're starting to get it. Zion's starting to
Yeah,
get it. They're starting to get into a little bit of a rhythm. I see a comment down
healthy.
here. We need to start putting respect on Zion. He may not have bought in originally, however, he's being a team player. I
He
agree.
is.
I've been very critical of Zion over the years, and it's more a thing of a big part of it is him buying in, and
Yeah,
then just availability. Like
yeah,
if he's on the court, he's been great. He's been dominant. It's just that he's not there that often.
absolutely,
This year he's
absolutely.
been playing. I think he's only missed
Yeah,
4 games
I
maybe.
think he
He's
missed
been
two
great.
games. Two
Yeah.
games.
So I'm I'm
The
interested to
biggest
see
thing,
what that team does.
the biggest thing is like about that's like confusing about him not wanting to potentially buy in is that this is a great team. They have a great roster, and he was drafted into an extremely beneficial situation. Even though, yeah, it's New Orleans. New Orleans is a dope city, by the way, but it's small market in an NBA term. But they got a good roster here that can compete right now if he buys all the way in, and it seems he's done that. By the way, I mean this is part of the whole thing too, right? About this in-season tournament. Like, look at what he got out of this. Like the players, but look at the cities. Like you get a young team from your middle country market, one of
Yes.
your oldest running franchises, Indiana Pacers, they get it. A team that hasn't really been in the playoffs, but now you get something to get them excited, right? The Knicks, big market,
Yep.
L.A., big market, and you got LeBron. Then you got the Pelicans, small market, but Zion. Everybody knows who Zion is. Every team has something, and then you got Kevin Durant on the other side, and
Yep.
the Sacramento Kings, they're back, small market, but not Golden State, but it
Absolutely.
was
Yeah.
teams that hadn't got a lot of shine that are in this thing, and I think that was pretty cool. Not markets, fan bases that haven't got a chance to really be a part of the playoff atmosphere
Yes. Yes.
so much. Like Suns more recently, but they had went years without seeing anything
Yeah.
competitive in that
All
franchise.
valid
So
points.
same with the Knicks, same with the Pacers. So I think that's a really cool thing. I think that's a really cool thing. The
I
Lakers and the
agree.
Celtics, they're always in the mix, but it's cool to see these smaller market or these teams that have organizationally been a dumpster fire to have gotten it together and compete for something.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm absolutely with you. Um, the team that you just mentioned, the Pacers, they
Yeah.
defeated the Celtics on Monday night as
Woo.
well. And
Flamethrowers.
bro, flamethrowers is an understatement. We talked about it going into the game last week, and Boston demolished the Pacers earlier in the year by like
What
40. I think they put up
what they put
150,
150? Yeah,
155.
150 something, right? That's
Yeah.
crazy.
And the Pacers, again, they've been hot. And
Yeah.
just to kind of backtrack, I keep on saying that I felt some of these teams were going to win just based on momentum.
Yeah,
And it brings me to like March Madness, where
yeah.
you could get a team that just gets hot at the right
They're hot,
time.
playing
And
well.
in a 7 game series, I'm taking the Celtics. The Celtics are
Yeah,
going to beat the Pacers in a 7 game series.
absolutely.
But on a one off, you know, the Pacers can win,
Yeah,
and they did win.
we just got this
Um,
game to win, and we did. Yeah,
and I
that's
think
it.
to me, that's been the most compelling part about the first couple of nights of games is just like the intensity is just ratcheted up a little bit more
Yeah,
because it's like, hey,
win or go home.
we don't have another game to play. Like if we
Yeah,
lose, we're done.
we're going home. We're done.
I love it. I love the
I
energy.
love that. And these guys as pros, they haven't had to experience that. They usually don't experience that have to play to get in to something until April. They're playing with that in December. Like, how could you not as a fan love that? You gotta love, like, these guys are playing hard in December. Like, if you really watch NBA basketball, you know that guys, I be in the arena. You know guys are not going 100%. I can tell you, I was in the arena for an in-season tournament game where these guys had to score a certain number of points
Yep.
to get in, and they were playing significantly harder than they would be normally at the end of November. I don't care if they were playing Charlotte. It was like they were going
Yeah.
hard. So
Yep.
it changes things. But to get into the Pacers and what they did, a 10-point victory over the Celtics. The game was much closer than the score would indicate, but 47% from three, like
Yes.
unbelievable shooting. It's as a team, like that's so crazy to me. They just shot the lights out. Halliburton 26, 12 in the third quarter. He just went absolutely nuts in the third quarter when they came up. This fended off a 32 and 12-point game by Jason Tatum. 30 points from Jaylen Brown. So your two best players, even without your third best, your two best players give you 62, and you still couldn't get a win. Like it's insane, man. It's
Yeah.
insane. Halliburton, triple double, 26 points, 10 rebounds, 13 assists, 5 from 11 from three. The whole team, like I said, 47% from three, 19 of 40. 19 of 40.
They're shooting the lights out.
Shooting the lights out. I'm surprised the lights stayed on in that arena. For real. They were just killing it, man. And the Pacers are a young, exciting team. They got pesky little T.J. McConnell coming off the bench with Aaron Naismith and Andrew Nembhard and Ben Mathurin. Like these are good players coming off that bench, and they usually spell them with Halliburton. Or I love the additions of Bruce Brown and Obi Toppin. This team could play.
Yes.
This team could play. And Buddy Hield seems to be motivated and found himself a nice role fitting into what they got going on. Rick Carlisle, veteran coach, he turned it quick, man. So this is really cool. This is really cool, and the Pacers look good.
So speaking of Tyrese Halliburton, he's been arguably the best point guard outside of maybe SGA this season to start the
Yeah,
year. Where do you have him ranked amongst the point guards in the league?
it's so crazy. So like he's proven a lot, but I think there's still more to prove, right? I think he's definitely a top 10 point guard for sure
I
right
agree
now.
with that.
For sure now. Because let's run them off. I mean, I'm looking just at a list, and this is in no particular order. You got, because are we saying Luka's a point guard?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he has the ball all the time. So Luka, you got De'Aaron Fox, Shea, Steph, Trey Young, Tyrese Maxey, Dame Lillard, Jalen Brunson, LaMelo Ball. Uh, and those are the players that I would probably say are, you know, on his level, and then you would in the mix in Tyrese Halliburton in there. But so that's 10, But yeah, I don't see really anybody else that's going to be much better than him besides who I listed. So he's definitely a top 10 point guard in the league. I love what
Uh,
he's doing. He's shooting a three extremely well,
yep.
extremely well, and that is powering this team. And he's a pass first player still. Like I think he only had like 10 points going in to the third quarter, and then he's seen his team needed an offensive boost, and he's able to do that. He's able to just start firing, taking
Yep.
drives to the basket. being very aggressive on offenses sometimes. So man, look, I like Tyrese. He's a real nice player, man. Like I said, pass first makes everybody on this team better. He's got these guys in transition moving. Everybody's getting easy shots. He's a good player. Definitely a top 10 point guard.
Yeah, definitely top 10. I know Sean's in here going in saying he's top 5 and he's not 5. I
Oh,
have him at 7. And that's no shade or anything like that. I love what he's doing. I just want to see more of it.
yeah.
Um, and I want to see it in the playoffs. But I can absolutely listen to and hear the argument that he is top 5. Me in no particular order. I know you named some off, but I've got SGA, Luca. I love Jalen Brunson so much.
Me too.
Dame, Trae Young, De'Aaron Fox is 6. Probably Halliburton. He's right there. And then,
Yeah, like six,
obviously,
seven, right?
yeah, you got Steph Curry, you got Maxey, but he's like right there. I have him like 6, 7. So,
Absolutely.
um, no shade or anything like that. He's been incredible. Like Sean mentioned in the group in the chat, he's shooting damn near 50% from 3. Like he's playing incredible. I
He
just
really
want to
is.
see. I just want to see it sustained through 82
Yeah.
and hopefully into the
Got to stay on
playoffs.
the court. You got to stay on the court too, because throughout his career, these first few years, he's had some injury difficulties in Sacramento and here. So he's got to stay on the court. But clearly, when he's out there, man, they're a different type team, and they're going to be a content. They're going to be able to compete with anybody with him out there.
Start bench cut. Halliburton, Luca, De'Aaron Fox.
Um, man, okay, I'm gonna start Luca. I'm gonna bench. Uh, man, I'm gonna bench Halliburton, and I'm gonna cut Fox. And I really don't
Man.
want to have to do that. That's
Yeah, I'm
crazy
I'm
because I love
surprised by
Fox.
that. Yeah.
I love Fox. You know I love Fox. But Halliburton, man, he plays a similar way. And that's not to say that like the Kings made the wrong decision by picking Fox over him. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that, but I just think my type of point guard that I would like, if I didn't have Jalen Brunson and I could scour the league for any other point guard, I think I would want Tyrese Halliburton.
Fair
Honestly,
enough.
the way he
Fair
shoots
enough.
it, the way that he, like I said, a young player right now to build beyond. If I didn't have Jalen Brunson, that would be where I want to go. Now LaMelo, I think he's even a step ahead of LaMelo,
I
even
agree
though
with that.
yeah, I just think that because LaMelo he got a game, but I don't know. I said I'm cutting Fox, but that's just in this on that list. That don't mean I'm just cutting him on this list.
Don't let Sean get you worked out, man.
I'm not. I'm just
Um,
saying I would cut him on this list. That's with that list of players. You line up another 3 players, I'll probably start or bench Fox. You never know.
um, so kind of wrap up this topic of the Pacers. Pacers were on the outside looking in last year. I want to say they were the 9th seed or 10th seed last year. They won like 35 games.
Yeah.
Is this team? They're 11-8 right now.
Right.
Um, is this team as currently constructed a playoff team?
I think so. I think so,
Really?
and not only do I think so, I think they're like going to be. So this is a team. If you look back, even since Carlisle got there, like Carlisle got there last year, they were like plus 10 wins already. From then, they went from 25 to 35 wins last year. I think they go from 35 to 45 this year, and they come in right around the 4, 5, 6 seed somewhere in there. They're going to be like
That's
mixed
high.
in, competing with New York, competing with Miami, competing with all those middle of the East teams. They're going to be competing with them as long as they stay healthy and none of those guys miss like significant time. If Halliburton, sore ankle, sore knee, miss a game here or there, that's fine. But if he has to miss like 2 months or 2 weeks or whatever, or a month or whatever, that's going to be devastating to them, achieving that goal. But I think if everybody stays healthy and they stay the course and playing like they're playing now, then yeah, 45 wins should be in reach for them.
So initially, I was kind of in the same boat as you. I was thinking like mid 40s, like
Yeah,
43 to 45 wins, which would probably get them in around like that 7-8 seed. But when I started to look into it a little bit more, like again, offensively they are great. They're explosive. We see it night in and night out. They are statistically one of the worst defensive teams in the league,
Oh yeah.
and that is my concern. And we kind
Yeah.
of touched on it last week, where being a great offensive team is fantastic. If you can go out there and score 120 points a game, you're going to win a lot of games.
Got to be able to
But
stop people.
but as we know, when you get into the playoffs, when you're playing a Milwaukee, you're playing a Miami, you're playing a New York, and things tighten up defensively, if you can't stop your opponent, they're not going to win games. They're 11-8
Yeah.
right now, and they're a
Yeah.
plus 3 point differential. So like I
That's crazy.
don't think it's sustainable
Yeah.
over the
Over
long haul.
another 60 games. And to your point, like you said, they are not one of the worst teams defensively in the NBA. They are the worst team in the NBA. I just
There we
looked it up.
go.
Their worst point differential. They give up the most points, but they are first in field goal percentage and in points per game. So look, man, if just don't have an off night.
As
If they have
simple
an
as
off
that.
night, that's when you end up losing 150 something to 111, and it's just ugly. Because that's it,
Simple
you
as
know.
that.
And
Just
that's
don't have
wild
an
that an
off
off
night.
night for them is still in triple digits.
Again, they're a great offensive team, but it just have to be able to play defense. You have to. It is
You
really
got
what it boils down to.
Gonna need stops in May.
Exactly.
Gonna need stops in
Exactly.
June. You'll get stops in May. You'll be home. You'll be in Cancun quick.
Yeah. So the semifinals are now set. We have
Yep.
everybody's going to Vegas, which will be dope. We've got the Pelicans playing the Lakers. We have not the Celtics, the Pacers playing the
Bucks.
Bucks. Who do you got moving on to the finals? And then I do want to know who you have winning the finals.
All right, let's get because it's gonna happen before we come back here. So let's talk lines. Let's talk betting lines. Vegas has Milwaukee -4.5 favorite, and they have the Lakers -1.5 favorite. That's basically a pick 'em.
Yep.
I'm gonna have. I think. Oh God, this is gonna be a shootout. But I'm gonna go with it since they're in Milwaukee. I'm gonna go with. Or not in Milwaukee. They're gonna be in Vegas.
In
So
Vegas,
the whole
yep.
team doesn't matter.
Neutral.
Never mind.
Neutral.
Indiana.
Yep.
Indiana. Pacers.
Yeah.
Lakers. Pacers. Lakers. They shoot the lights out again. Let's do it. Halliburton putting on a show makes a name for himself. I'm going all in. I'm going all in, pushing the chips because it's Vegas. Because it's Vegas. We're pushing the chips.
Yep.
Pacers.
So
Lakers. Lakers win.
okay. So well, I'm not going to get into that. So
Lakers win in like a thrilling fashion, though. Like a really, really good game. Pacers, Lakers, crazy game.
Pacers, Lakers.
Halliburton gives them everything they got, but not enough.
So that's interesting because when I was thinking about this, I have a feeling that Adam Silver and the NBA have an idea for what they want, like in a perfect world. And I think having the Lakers and the Bucks just
Yeah.
because of star power, you have
They want it.
Dame, you have Dame in a championship game, Giannis obviously who's won, AD, LeBron, like these are players that everybody knows.
Yeah,
So to
we're
be
probably
able to
speeding towards that. But I just wanted to say something.
yeah, so like for them to be able to put together like their montages and their storylines and be able to just drop, you know, Anthony Davis, LeBron James,
Yeah.
Giannis, Dame,
In-season
like
tournament final.
yeah, like it's just a sexy thing. Like
Yeah.
in my mind, I feel like that's what the league wants. On the
Yeah.
flip side, to have Zion in the final, like, small market,
Yeah.
the Pelicans there, to have the Pacers who haven't been great in a while, have them
Yeah.
in a finals and be able to market that, especially with how young the teams are. I feel like
Yeah.
that's also another
You
avenue
need
where
your
it's
young
like, hey,
players to show off the next generation. LeBron is 40.
exactly,
You know what I mean? You got to show off the
exactly.
next generation. Giannis about to be 30. Giannis turns 29, I think, next week or something like that, or in a couple of days. So
Yeah,
he's about to be
yeah, early
30.
December. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So to me, I feel like it's either you want to go with like the old wily vets and like the
Yeah.
names that everybody knows, or you want to go in the complete opposite direction where it's
The
all
youth
these young
movement.
kids, the youth movement, and
Halliburton,
like you
Zion.
said,
Yeah.
like moving the league into this new younger generation. For you to have the Pacers and the Lakers just feel like, to me, it just messed me up for a second because I'm like, I don't think the league wants to see that.
They
But
don't want to see that. They want one or the other. Like you said, they want an all young guy final, or they want the Clash of the Titans with their old
exactly.
time veterans like Anthony Davis, LeBron James, Damian Lillard, and Giannis Antetokounmpo face off for
And
the first NBA Cup.
that's exactly how it's going to sound too. All that said, I've got the Lakers playing the Bucks. I don't want to say the league is rigged or the refs or anything like that, but I truly believe that's what they want. And
Yep,
again, for the first one, I think you want to build as much momentum and like have it be a
absolutely,
big event. And what better way than having all of your best players or like a
absolutely.
bunch of your best players playing in the game?
Tune
Um,
in on ABC.
so I got the Lakers playing the Bucks. I
Okay,
also have the Lakers
you're
winning.
probably right.
And again, just
I got a
storylines.
weird feeling about them. Yeah, exactly. I got a weird feeling about the Lakers. And plus, the basketball guys literally just saved them last night. Or LeGod. One of the other ones. I don't know.
LeGod.
But LeGod James. He said time where he knows how to call timeouts without saying
Apparently,
or
omnipotent
motioning to
James.
call a timeout. He was like, I said timeout. He wanted the
they're
ref
like,
was in front
they're
of
like,
him.
yeah, you're right. You're right.
It was crazy. It was just wild. What a sequence that was. It's a shame. It was a great game.
It was. It was. It's past us. We're moving on to the semis, into the finals.
Yeah.
Um, again, we've been on the in-season tournament bandwagon from the jump. I
Yeah.
know you had to break it down for me so I understood, but once I got it, I'm like, this is really dope, and I'm hoping that it doesn't like flame out in the next Thursday and Saturday in the
Yeah, yeah.
championship. I don't think it will, but
It's
I'm
tough. They're
excited to
playing
see
on
how
tough
this thing
nights.
goes.
It's like they're really trying to compete with football. I thought that, I mean, but everybody's going to watch tomorrow. No one's going to watch Steelers Patriots on Thursday Night
Bro,
Football.
that's
No
gonna
one's
be
watching that.
the
So
worst
like
game.
they have the best. This is the absolute best case scenario that they.
Yeah.
You think they knew that when they scheduled it? That whose schedule was out first? They're like, oh yeah, we're good here.
The
Leave it
I
Thursday.
believe I believe the NFL schedule is out first, but
They knew.
I don't think anybody could have predicted that the Patriots would be what they are, and that I mean, I don't know. I don't know. But I agree with you because
My word.
it's going to be a bad game. So
My
the
word.
the NBA might have lucked out in having their semis
It's a
on
good
Thursday
night.
night with
Ever.
a terrible
Tune
game
in.
on.
Tune in to
Yes.
ESPN and TNT. TNT's got the Lakers Pelicans. ESPN has the Pacers Bucks.
Yes.
Tune in.
Anything else we should look forward to before we're back next week, or are we just all
Tonight,
in on the
tonight,
in-season tournament?
tonight. I want to see. Speaking of a clash, we got tonight. Uh, we got Timberwolves versus Spurs. Victor Wembanyama versus his fellow countryman and fellow very tall man Rudy Gobert, who you hate. So let's see if Victor can put a
I
double
do
double
hate
on
him
him. We need Victor to put a double
for the
double on him
culture.
so Cash can cash out. I need a double double plus 105.
That
Victor,
Minnesota
get the
team,
rebounds. Get the
team,
rebound.
that Minnesota team, I really like. I love Anthony Edwards. We talked about it last week or the week before. It really seems like this is a different team. Like they've
It is.
truly figured out how those
Best record in
pieces
the
fit
league.
together, and
Best
they're
record in the
playing
league.
fantastic. So,
That was a shocker to not make this whole thing too. It's so weird. Like all their losses came in these tournament games. That's crazy. Like they have no other losses in regular season play. It was a very
it's wild,
that's what makes
honestly.
it cool. And that's what I'm saying. Like them and the 76ers and the Nuggets were the three hottest teams in the NBA without a question. Without a
Yep,
question. None of them were in the tournament field. And I thought that was pretty cool.
I
Because you
agree.
could, gotta get buckets.
I
Can't play
agree.
that way. You gotta play a different way.
So tonight we're gonna tune in to see our boy Victor Wembanyama against the Minnesota
Coming on right
Timberwolves.
after we get off here.
Should be a great
7:30
game.
ESPN.
And then we're right back into the in-season tournament tomorrow, Thursday.
Yep.
Make sure you tune in. Championship will be Saturday night.
Yes.
And we will be back next week to recap everything as we move into Christmas and New Year's and the whole nine. But yeah, I'm excited. A lot of good basketball going
Very.
on.
Very. We got good stuff. Yeah, we'll get into the Christmas games lineup too. That's going to be a cool lineup they got. Always got a day full of basketball games. I love that. Yeah, man, let's get into it. Plenty to talk about. Plenty to talk about.
Yes, sir. With that said, we're going to get out of here. Enjoy your basketball tonight. We will
Yes,
be
sir.
back with y'all next week. This is Heat Check. I am John L. This is my guy, Cash Walkin, and we will be with y'all next week.
Peace.